Hello, beautiful people. This is Freedom Fighter. Thank you for tuning into our channel, Goldilocks Global Banking News. Everybody knows that Goldilocks is the #1 source for the RVGCR. People from around the world tune in to see what Goldilocks is sharing on the RVGCR. Don't miss your chance and get your latest updates every day. So like, share, and subscribe to this channel to get your daily podcast from the Goldilocks articles on the RVGCR. Brought to you by Freedom Fighter.
Hey, fine folks, this is Freedom Fighter. Welcome to Saturday Night Dialogues. It is November the 16th. We are going to get rocking and rolling. This call is pretty packed, so we're going to jump on out the box and get it started in here. We're going to start out with some prayer so we can go. Father God, we thank you for allowing us to be here again amongst each other, this tribe, this soul tribe, this beautiful community. We ask that, Father, you bring the healing upon all members. Some members have expressed they're in some physical, emotional, health issues going on. We ask that you protect them, cover them, allow your healing angels to surround them. We ask that you build a wall of fire to protect them. We ask that you also give everyone the peace of mind, the courage they need to continue on this journey. And we ask that for those members who even attempt to want to build relationships the way that Wiley, myself, and Goldilocks are helping them to prepare for this exchange and this blessing, we ask that you give them the courage, but also give the community the power to keep and continue helping them and to mentor them on this journey. In your precious name, we pray. Amen. Amen. All right, folks, some quick announcements. Don't forget, Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., it's Goldilocks QFS Dialogues Room. That is where we break down Goldilocks' articles on the RV of what's transpiring. None of that my high-level sources said, none of that my opinions. It's all straight facts from the actual sources that are involved with the RV, and you will see oftentimes we show where Goldilocks is showing months, even years in advance of what's going to happen before it happens. Also, that is where we have Wiley, of course, who shares his golden nuggets on wealth management, both in preparing to meet with wealth managers and also for post-exchange, whereby you can build generational wealth. All right, folks that are listening on YouTube, the link is in the description to join the room. Also, just for you to have a heads up, tomorrow, which actually when this goes out, it'll be probably Monday, but for those listening live, tomorrow, Sunday, there will be a 3:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time call that Wiley will have with one of our members. I won't name his name just yet. He was in the room yesterday, and he set up a meeting with a private wealth management firm whereby the actual wealth manager admitted to him that he himself has dinar and dong as, yes, the wealth manager, and waiting for the RV to happen. And that's tomorrow, 3:00 Eastern Standard Time. Higher Learning with Anastasia, Thursdays at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Anastasia is the one who introduced me to the RV 13 years ago, and she is a higher being. And for those of you who've been following, you know what I'm talking about. Dee's room. Dee drops articles in her room regarding the RV from all over the globe in connection to the RV. That's Dee's room. Crypto finance room with Dave Rose, Big Dog. Anything and everything related to crypto. That's the room. Then, of course, Goldilocks Global Banking News, your daily podcast, whereby we bring to you in an audio format that's spread out all over the world, literally, whereby we break down Goldilocks articles and showing you exactly what's transpiring with the RV. Tonight, we do have an article on Iraq, some updates on where they're at with the World Trade Organization. There's an article that Goldilocks dropped a couple of days ago. I know it kind of went over some people's head, but there's some dots that we're going to connect tonight to show you. Then also another article by Goldilocks, which shows the laws that will go into the Federal Register next month. And with these laws, there are certain laws and regulations that are needed in the banking system for the RV to even occur, because these regulations are regulations that legalize the quantum financial system and connects the quantum financial system, different financial institutions, which are money, whether it's exchanges we'll go into or whether it's our money moving through the banking system. Folks, reminder, when we get to Q&A tonight, please ask questions. Please ask questions. All right. We have, excuse me, several members that you're going to hear from tonight that have actually met with bankers. Yes, the so-called bankers that people have been hearing about in dinar land, who supposedly have these high-level relationships, and that you are to just wait for these high-level contacts, so-called bankers, to give you information. We have members in our room whereby they are meeting with the bankers themselves personally. These are the individuals, the bankers that will be doing their exchanges, facilitating their exchanges at the banks. Some of them are at the banks, tier one banks, and then some are with private wealth institutions. And this is large in part from Wiley dropping his questions and his information in the room, the Goldilocks QFS Dialogues room, whereby we have been educating our members how to establish these relationships themselves with the bankers. We've been doing this for quite some time, and it's blowing up like crazy. And I would like to thank all of you members. I don't want to start naming names because I'll forget someone. I don't want to hurt no one's feelings, where you have been helping each other. And it is just so heartwarming where you're reaching out. These are members, folks, that have already established relationships, where we have members that spoken directly and met directly with VPs, vice presidents of banks. One is going to several who have met with wealth managers for lunch. We're going to hear from someone tonight who will be doing so, meeting with her wealth manager for lunch, her lunch date with Denzel. Also, you're going to hear from a couple tonight who they've already early established a relationship with the vice president of the bank months ago, and then started to establish a relationship with the wealth manager. And then they're going back again next week to meet with them again to go over their generational wealth and specific plans of what they're going to do with the money that they're going to exchange. These folks are not waiting for no ghost email from someone claiming to have relationships. And I think of a Bible scripture, I believe it's Proverbs 18. A fool takes no pleasure in understanding, but only expressing his opinion. A fool takes no pleasure in understanding, but only expressing his opinion. Folks, there are many people in dinar land that are very good at expressing their opinions, but have no understanding how the RV works, what the process is like. And that's why you constantly hear every weekend, every 3 long day weekend and holiday is happening. My high level sources said because maybe I'll just say this, maybe they don't have an understanding. And that's why oftentimes you hear, oh, in my opinion. And then after that, you hear what you hear. And then you also hear how there's a delay. If you are sick and tired of being on the roller coaster, of hearing every weekend and nothing happening, every 3 long day weekend and nothing happening, if you are tired of teenagers on social media with fake avatars telling you that the RV is happening on Thursday, but meanwhile, they're somewhere in their underwear just tweeting and you're believing it, there's a link in the description where you can come and meet real people who are really meeting with real bankers who will exchange their currency. And it's a community of people that will wrap their arms around you with love and show you how to do the same thing. That's what we're on, and that's what we're talking about. So tonight let's go get right into it. Spirit, are you here? If you can raise your hand, I'm gonna come to you, beloved. This is going to be the first person you're going to hear from tonight before we get into the articles on Iraq and the QFS, folks. If she is here.
Unmuted.
Thank you, beloved. This young lady, Spirit, is in the beginning stages of developing her relationship with the wealth manager. She's taken several steps. Also in the room, the Goldilocks QFS Dialogues room, thanks to the amazing Jan, who came up with the idea several weeks ago to have a numeric steps, and then glass half full yesterday sort of summarized it herself. And then the beautiful Lady E put it together, and it's in the room. Spirit, if you could unmute, and you're going to be helping me to read an article tonight too. Spirit, you can unmute. This young lady's told me she was nervous, and she's going to be speaking with her wealth manager, reaching out on Tuesday. We want to help get her nerves right, so we want to have her come on and call. Spirit, can you unmute? Do you know how to unmute? I know this is your first time. All right, there you go.
Oh, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, gosh. Hello, everyone.
How you doing, young lady? I know you said you were nervous, but don't worry. We are here with you. You have nothing to worry about. Welcome. So you're going to read an article with me a little later, but first, I must congratulate you. You're welcome. You've gone through your steps. You're going to be calling on your wealth manager on Tuesday, I think you said?
Yes, Tuesday coming.
Okay. Now, if you can share with us, how long have you been a member of the room?
Actually, literally within, I'll say, a couple of weeks.
Okay. Yeah.
That I ran into one of your videos a few months back, and I've been just kind of, following up with the videos and all that stuff. And, prior to that, about 6 months ago, I've been going through the same thing with all the fake news and the guru foo-foo, how you call it?
Yeah, guru foo-foo, yes.
I literally, when I first heard y'all say that, it just made me laugh so hard, because that's exactly what it is.
Right.
And so I took some notes just by following different groups and stuff, but it was such a hard task because it was hard to tell which information was accurate and real and fake, and when you said Psalms 18, man, that sums it all up, because I'm sure many people on this call or that's watching and listening have ran through the same thing. You have a lot of arrogant people that's play that they want to help, but they don't. They just want to be heard all the time, and it's
yeah. And we wish them the best. We send them love and high vibrations, but what happens is many of us, including myself, many years ago was there, but there comes a time where we grow, we evolve, we raise our vibration, our frequency, and we shed dead weight. And so a lot of people are joining the room who are shedding dead weight. And we all had to go through the experience of the guru food at some point.
Yes.
In order to get us to this point where we are right now. Now I know you went through step one. You found a tier one bank in your area. If you can kind of give us that and where you went from step one to where you're making this call on Tuesday. Can you share that with us?
Yes, sure. First of all, I want to thank y'all. Thank you and your team for creating this platform for
Mm-hmm.
everyone like me that's really trying to learn this process.
Right.
Um, so I
You're
I
welcome.
did my due diligence by going online and looking up tier one banks,
Mm-hmm.
particularly ones close to me.
Mm-hmm.
I did that. I actually set up an appointment to just go in and to open up just a basic account.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I did that. So I was all dressed up, ready, you know.
You,
I was like, okay, I got this. So I
uh-huh.
go, I wait for my appointment. The banker did, offer me, water and snacks or whatever. And I'm like, no, I'm good, you know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So go into the appointment and I did express to her I was just wanting to open up an account.
Mm-hmm.
And I then asked if they had a wealth management available in the branch.
Mm-hmm.
And she said yes, and what
Mm-hmm.
for? I said, well, I just had a few questions.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Mm-hmm.
prior to that, I did try to set up a wealth management appointment online,
Mm-hmm.
but that didn't go well.
That's okay. And folks, and before you continue, just make sure we don't mention any bank names. Just want to share that.
Oh, no, no, no. Yeah, I know
Okay.
not to do.
Mm-hmm.
So, we set up the account and she did, they had a branch manager on site
On site. Mm-hmm.
and he came in. I was already nervous, so I was really really trying to be careful and choosy as far as what information I volunteered because
Right.
I'm still trying to understand the process.
Mm-hmm.
But I did express to them that I made some investments and
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking to have that come back in return
Mm-hmm.
and ask what products did they have available to help
Mm-hmm.
the journey along.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, first off, it was kind of uncomfortable because he didn't seem really like he was into the conversation
Interested. Uh-huh.
tone. It
Mm-hmm.
was no eye contact or nothing, so
Mm-hmm.
that kind of like discouraged me a whole
Mm-hmm.
lot. I did
Mm-hmm.
ask for a brochure.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he didn't have any, and he
Mm-hmm.
tried to give me copies, make copies, or and give it to. I was like, I'm okay." So
Mm-hmm.
immediately I was uncomfortable because it didn't seem like he was too interested into what I was trying to do.
Can I share
So
something with you?
yes,
You did an amazing job
oh, thank you, because I
because
felt like I
no, you didn't fail, beloved. You cannot fail. What you did was what most people won't do. You did what the 1% in our room is doing, and that's taking that step, that first step. What I don't want to say that someone fails if they don't take the step, but it really is a failure if someone who has invested in this opportunity, waiting for years, months, however long, and
yes.
are going to wait for some email, for some number, from some text message to tell them, "Oh, it's time to go and cash in on your investment." Really? How does
Yeah.
that make sense? With who? With
Mm,
some mysterious person that you've never met? You took the step to go out and meet face to face with these people. Now, there are several members in our room. You've only been around for a while, but several members in our room who initially did what you did, and it was funky like a monkey.
ooh,
But
say
they
that.
went out, And they came back. We corrected I wouldn't even call them mistakes, but we helped to correct some things. And then they went back and it was totally night and day. But it's the first step that you make. It doesn't matter if the banker that you met with was interested or not, had good smelling cologne or not. It doesn't matter. None of that matters. What matters the most is that you took your power back. You took the step to make a change in your life and your family to go out and meet. You took that step. That's the only thing that matters. Now we will help you. We will correct you so that when you go back, you're going to be on cloud 9 because you will have a different result. Does that make sense?
I'm on cloud 9. I listened to one of the calls a couple nights ago with, testimonials, and Zachary and his wife really inspired me
Mm-hmm.
to push ahead further because I'm not gonna lie, I literally was about to just go on in there when it pops off and just go from there. And I know that's a terrible thing to do, but I've been praying and for God to guide me to the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
I know I don't want to mess this up.
Right.
And
And
just
and
coming
and, and go
sometimes
ahead.
in the group, man,
Mm-hmm.
listening to all the testimonials and the calls,
Mm-hmm.
because I know this thing is real, you know.
Right. And these are
Just
real
come,
people that
yes,
you come into the room and they're helping you, right?
right.
And they're
Very ready
mm-hmm.
and helpful, very educational. I just love how, you know, they allow everyone to feel comfortable to ask any questions and not feel like a burden. It's none of that. It's all
Right.
love. And
All
that's
love.
and it's yes.
Exactly. Now you're going to be hearing from Zach and Amber right after you, but I want to make sure confirm you have you're making your call with the wealth manager on Tuesday. I think you said right. Okay.
Yes.
Cool. That's fine. Um, if you have time to be on the call tomorrow at 3 o'clock, be on, and then Monday come into the room. Whatever we have to do to help you to get ready to make your call on Tuesday.
Mhm.
That's fine. We will do it. There is no failure in trying. The Muhammad Ali once said, the greatest risk is taking no risk at all.
You're right.
Okay, beloved, you'll be fine. Don't worry. Let me tell you something. Even if you make your call on Tuesday and something you don't like is said, it doesn't matter
You're
because
right.
we're going to help you to get it right.
I feel a little better about it this time around because, and you're right, even if it doesn't go well, I'm okay with that because
Mm-hmm.
the list that's provided in the group
Mm-hmm.
help
Right.
ease the anxiety
Right.
that we all may have into
Right.
getting this set up and ready to go. And
Right.
that the Ferna
The
list
FINRA.
website,
Uh-huh.
yes,
That
FINRA,
Wiley shared. Yep.
that really helped because I'd already had a list of wealth managements that I was looking at,
Right.
and that site really, really helps.
Right. And what
I
that is for
just,
folks listening, what she's speaking of is what Wiley shared, the FINRA site where you can do due diligence on the actual bankers. You can check out their resumes, their bios. For those of you listening, have you had a chance to check out the bios or the resumes of the people who supposedly are going to do your exchange at redemption centers? Have you had a chance to check out is there a website where you can check out the background of the people that are supposed to be sending you an email when it's time to exchange, or the 800 number? It's a rhetorical question, but I'm asking it anyway because I want you to think. This young lady who's nervous, who made
amen.
the step, she at least took the step to check out on the FINRA site that Wiley has provided into the room, where you can actually do your due diligence on the people who are going to exchange your currency. How would it feel, ladies and gentlemen that are listening to this call, if when you get this mysterious 800 number text or notification to go do your exchange,
Mm.
it's somewhere in the back alley, it's somewhere on the third, fourth floor. You don't even know these people, and you've waited for 5, 10 months, 10 years to give your currency over to somebody for the first time that you've never met. You don't know nothing about them, no background, nothing. But here you can come into the Goldilocks QFS Dialogues room and have access to a link, and it's all for free. You can come and have access to do research on the people that will do your exchange. What are you waiting for? Okay, beloved Spirit, we're going to come back to you in a little bit because you're going to help me read an article, and we're going to knock this nervous dust off of you tonight so that you're ready to do what you got to do Tuesday and on. Okay, beloved?
All right.
All right. I'm coming back to you a little bit. I'll come get you.
Okay.
All right. Speaking of Zach and Amber, Zach and Amber, if you can raise your hand and we'll get you. How you doing, Dragon Slayer?
No.
Folks, this is Zach and Amber, the amazing power couple that many of you have heard from. Several months ago, probably 3 or 4 months ago, they went to a tier 1 bank. The VP of the bank literally told them in person that he got from his higher ups that the RV, the dinar specifically, is going to RV, although he's been in the business as a banker for 20 plus years and he's heard it was a scam. But then he finally said to Zach and Amber, oh, by the way, yes, I've gotten word from headquarters. It is real. So what Zach and Amber did, they were in the room being themselves, loving and sharing and caring, watching other people establishing relationships with wealth managers. They felt as if, well, maybe they don't need to do that because they already heard from the vice president of the bank that the RV is going to happen. So they just parlayed and just was like, oh, we'll chill. We'll need to do that. And then all of a sudden, they had an epiphany listening to Lady Unique, where she goes in and they roll out the red carpet, white glove treatment, all that kind of stuff, and wanting to propose to her and authenticating her currency. Lady Unique, that's her. And then Zach and Amber's like, hold up. Maybe we should establish a relationship with the wealth manager like everyone else. So last week they had their appointment, and then I believe they have a follow-up next Thursday, if my memory serves me correctly.
Yes,
next
sir.
Thursday, whereby they're going to go into detail about investments and building generational wealth and setting. And I believe they're meeting also with the trust attorney or a CPA. I'm not sure. They'll tell you. And I don't want to fail to mention that when they met with their wealth manager this past week, they got out of their vehicle and go up to the door, and the wealth manager comes to the door and greets them at the door. If I'm lying, I'm flying. Correct me if I'm wrong, Zach or Amber.
You are not wrong.
And on the Bible.
Yep.
This man, you guys got out of the car and he met you at the door.
Yes,
Sir.
At
Yes,
the
sir.
door.
And y'all never met before, but he knew your whole background because, as we discussed last week, because he had already had a briefing with his VP and his staff that you met prior, who told you that the RV is going to happen. If you guys can briefly share, because I want to get to Peculiar Ram and then we'll get into these articles and open it for Q&A. If you guys can briefly share, and I'm saying briefly for a reason, if you guys can briefly share how this meeting transpired last week. You got out the car, you opened the door, blah, 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 what you talked about, and the follow-up for next week, Thursday. Appreciate it.
Okay, sure. So we went to the place. He met us at the door. He said, Zach and Amber, hi,
When you
how
said
you
place,
doing?
was it a building?
Right. It was a building. I'm sorry.
Okay.
It was a
Mhm.
building, yes.
Mhm.
And he said, Zach and Amber, and we said, yes, that's us. He escorted us back to his office, and he Uh,
sat down and he introduced himself. We introduced ourselves. We got to know each other. It was a quick melting of the ice, I guess you could say.
What was his
yes,
title?
he was just
His title?
a wealth manager.
Wealth manager. Okay, okay. And
Yes,
and
a fiduciary wealth manager. Yes.
got it.
Hmm.
All right, folks, and
Hmm.
folks, just so you all know, listening to this call, when you hear our members talking about meeting with the wealth manager, folks, a wealth manager works at the bank. This is a banker, a real banker.
Hmm.
So, folks, you are literally listening to members who have met bankers, established relationships with bankers who will exchange their currency and also help them to build their wealth after they exchange. So I just want to clarify that, Zach and Amber, because some folks don't realize that a wealth manager is the banker. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So after that, he started talking about his background. We asked him questions. We had Wiley's questions. Most of the
Mm-hmm.
questions he had already answered them before we
Yes.
even asked them.
Yeah.
Talking about what he wanted to do with us. We told him our goals of Zach retiring and creating generational wealth and trust, and
Mm-hmm.
also about purchasing a house, and how
Mm-hmm.
he was saying, no, you should definitely get a mortgage. So we were talking about those things.
Which
Mm-hmm.
Wiley has discussed.
Hmm.
Right. That's right.
Yeah. So we also did go over questions on the list, and he had no problem answering those questions. And he kept saying, "Wow, great question, great question." Every question we had on Wiley's list, he
Mm-hmm.
loved. But one of the biggest things that he said to us was that we were going to outgrow him. He said
Mm-hmm.
that his whole entire plan, his job was for us to outgrow him.
And folks,
He,
what Amber means when she says that her and Zach will outgrow the wealth manager, and this is something that Wiley has expressed many times in the room, folks. They will outgrow the wealth manager, meaning that their wealth will grow to such an amount after they exchange and with working with this wealth manager to build on the money that they've exchanged with, to where that money will grow to a point where they're going to have to graduate to a bigger, larger wealth management firm because they may cap out at a certain. I'm like, for example, using numbers. They might cap out to where the wealth manager can only get them to 300 million
mhm.
in return. I'm just using that as an example. I don't know the situation, but then they would have to now go to another wealth management firm that is 300 million plus. So Zach and Amber has 300 million plus dollars. They will outgrow this particular wealth manager. That's what that means. Go ahead.
And so after we told him what our whole idea was, he said that he would go ahead and set up appointments for us, since we were talking about opening trust
Hmm.
for a trust
Mhm.
lawyer. He would set up appointments for us for a CPA for taxes. He would set up all the appointments that we need
Yes.
to build our team
Yes.
to help us
Mm,
with this
Yep.
money.
Yep. And
your
told us
wealth
for our
management team.
Hmm.
yes, and for our
Mhm.
homework, he told us to have ready when we come back in Thursday a list of people that we want on our trust.
And how
Oh,
much?
that's right. And how
Yes.
Yep.
much? That's right.
Hmm.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yo, you folks hear this? So now when Zach and Amber goes back to meet with their wealth manager, they're going to meet additional people that are going to be referred to them by this wealth manager who will be on their wealth management team. And they've been suggested to return to be prepared for this meeting next Thursday with the trust lawyer and CPAs and have the names of the family members or whomever they wish to be beneficiaries of the trust and the amount of money that will be distributed to those family members. And this is all, folks, once they exchange their currencies, that they will be able to participate with this wealth management. They are doing this now. Zach, Amber, rhetorical question. How much did it cost y'all to do this?
Zero.
Okay. Just so that
Nothing.
everyone knows. Okay, you can continue.
Because we don't pay until we actually have a product.
Yeah.
That's
That
right.
we
Yep.
actually, yeah, they actually do wealth management. That's when you
Mm-hmm.
pay. But for the
Mm-hmm.
meetings, no, those are free.
Yep. And
Mm-hmm.
he was very accommodating because of the situations that happened that particular day. He wants us to get in touch with him to make accommodations to meet somewhere closer to us.
Yes.
Mm. Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. Okay.
And
Okay.
so,
Excellent.
yeah, after our appointment, he sent follow-up emails and made a couple of calls just to follow up and ask if we had any other further questions. And
Yes.
then the
Mm-hmm.
last call that we had, he told us this Thursday we'll be meeting with the trust lawyers and the mortgage broker because we were talking about getting a high amount of a house. So
Mm-hmm.
there's a whole entire department that works with high-level clients and
Right.
high
Right.
houses, high amount of
Right.
houses. So
Right.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Hmm.
For high net
Yeah.
worth
Right.
clients. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. See, folks, you are listening to real people who have met with real bankers and are planning their wealth. And before they receive the wealth, before they exchange, they are working with the team that's going to exchange their currency and help to manage it and build it to a point where they will outgrow this wealth management firm. And actually, it is, and when I was in the banking world, this is something I know very well. It's an incentive. It's like bragging rights for a wealth manager. Let's say, for example, if Zach and Amber gets to 300 million and that wealth management firm with that private, it's a tier one bank, they
Hmm.
might end up referring Zach and Amber to a private wealth management firm that doesn't have the restrictions that a tier one bank might, as far as not restrictions, but caps. Because
Yeah.
some tier one banks, folks, have caps on how much they can help you to make and build. So if you once you get to 300, 400 million, they'll pass you off or refer you to a larger wealth management firm that may have no limits where you can get into the billions. So it is just beautiful that Zach and Amber, that although they waited for a while, they made the leap and look where they're at. And also, I would like to really, really give Zach a huge shout out. Zach in the room, folks, is baby freedom, if you will. This dude is in there helping, teaching, mentoring, and it is just so beautiful. I love it. I love it. We all love it. We all in the background, me, Wiley, we high fiving on the phone. We see Zach in there really taking people. See, these folks, Zach and Amber, like many of our members, they have been exactly where Spirit is, who you all just heard from.
Oh yeah. Oh.
So they have some empathy and understanding what Spirit is going through, but they take it upon themselves to help bring her up.
Amen.
And we have members that are reaching back and reaching down to pull each other up because we've all been where Spirit and other members have been. Where, and some of you who are sitting on the sideline afraid to make that step, that's okay. You don't have to, seriously. But if you choose to get off the sideline, there's folks like Zach and Amber and others that will bring you up and pull you up to get you right. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Amber and Zach.
Well, that was it,
That
actually.
was it. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was it. Hmm.
Excellent. And for those who may not know, you have to realize Zach and Amber meeting with this wealth manager next week, getting with the trust attorney CPA. This is a tier one bank that Zach and Amber months ago was told by the VP. They know the RV is happening. As a matter of fact, they already know certain currencies that they have. And if I'm lying, I'm flying. Correct me
You're
if
not
I'm wrong.
lying. You're not wrong.
Absolutely
He
correct.
knew. Yeah,
Yeah.
like almost all
They
the currencies except for one. They had it already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Hmm.
So, folks, when you hear this, where they have met with the wealth manager who already confirmed with the VP that they already have an account at this tier one bank, they know what Zach and Amber holds. Do you think they're going to be talking about trust attorneys next week and generational wealth and coming back with the names of the family members and the amounts of money that they want to disperse to these family members if they didn't already have a profile on Zach and Amber?
Mm-hmm.
KYC.
KYC, know your customer. All right, beautiful folks, we appreciate y'all. And Zach, thank you so much for being, such a mentor in the room and helping folks. We appreciate you so much.
I had a phenomenal teacher, sir. Thank you, and
Yes,
thank you, Tribe.
yes, sir, yes, sir. And thank you both. Thank you, Amber, for coming on with your partner in crime tonight.
Of course. Thank you guys.
All right, appreciate you,
Love ya.
appreciate you. Love you, baby. All right, all right. Okay. Got it. Okay. Thank you. All right. Cool. Now we are going to I don't see Peculiar Ram. She was going to be, I know she was running around earlier. If she comes on late, we will get her on the call. Spirit, if you are ready, let's get into these articles on that Goldilocks has dropped for us. We're going to get into this, and then we're going to get into the article with me and Glass Half Full. We're going to get into the article on Iraq after that.
Okay.
All right. Spirit, you ready?
Yes.
All right. I know you're nervous, but this will be good for you to help you in preparation for your meeting that you're going to have, because you're going to get these butterflies, these nerves out. And I'm here with you. And this is going to be good practice for you. And it's going to be real simple because you're going to help a lot of people listening, and you're going to help yourself. And now all you need to do, folks, this is an article. This is going to be a law, not just a law, several laws that we need in the quantum financial system necessary for the new banking system whereby the RV will occur. These new laws going into effect next month are absolutely necessary and needed. Without them, we can't have an RV. These are new regulations going live into effect. And this is from the Federal Register, which is where all laws in the United States go into effect and recorded. All right. So, Spirit, if you could read the first two paragraphs. And this, folks, this is on the Financial Data Transparency Act, where the data within the new quantum financial system, and we're going to see how Goldilocks has shared all of the agencies that our currencies, our money, our crypto, everything will be in the new banking system within these agencies. And next month, these laws go into effect so that these agencies share data amongst each other, just like similarly to how Zach and Amber went to meet with their wealth manager, and their wealth manager already had the data on them from having his discussions with his vice president of that bank that already, like Zach said, KYC, know your customer, they already had the background. So in the new banking system, this will become normal because in the old banking system, because of the bureaucracy of agencies, they don't share information amongst each other. They don't share data. It's a whole red tape process. Now going into the new banking system, as a result of these laws going into effect next month, it will become seamless. The data exchange between these banks, between these financial institutions, even the hospital industry, these data standards going live next month is what does it. All right, let's go, young lady. You can start.
Okay. According to current information, the final rule for final Financial Data Transparency Act, FDTA, Joint data standards is expected to be released by December 2024.
Next month. Mm-hmm.
Agencies are required to finalize the joint standards within 2 years of, of the act's
The
enactment,
enactment. Mm-hmm.
uh, which was December 2022. That's done.
That's done. So this folk, what happened was in December of 2022, the final joint standards went into effect, and they had 2 years from December 2022 to finalize these standards. Therefore, 2 years takes us to next month, December 2024. Go ahead.
Okay. The comment period for the proposed joint standard is set to end around October 21st, 2024.
And
Key
that's
points
done.
of
Hold on 1 second, beloved. And that's done. Folks, that was the comment period. Being the comment period, 60 days after the comment period, these laws, these new rules, these new standards go into effect, which takes us to December. Go ahead.
Key points about the FDTA Joint Standard Data Standards. Timeline. Agencies must issue a final joint rule within 2 years of December 23, 2022.
Okay, cool, done. So this happened, the agencies, meaning the agencies, which I'm going to share with you what those agencies are, they must have issued final rules within 2 years of December the 23rd, 2022. So 2 years later takes us to next month, December 2024. Now, beloved, we're going to skip spirit to the next article. And all you got to do is read the first paragraph and let's get these nerves knocked off. You're going to be more fluent and more fluid as you read this one. Go ahead.
All right. The Financial Data Transparency Act, FDTA, requires federal financial regulators to establish joint data standards to collect and share financial information.
Mm-hmm.
The standards will make the data machine readable,
Readable. Mm-hmm.
which means it can be processed by a computer without a human intervention.
Okay, pause 1 second. That's very important. So what she's sharing with you all, folks, is as a result of this new rule, this new law that goes into effect next month, the standard with the financial institutions, which I'm going to share with you all the financial institutions in a little bit, which the currencies that we hold all come under these financial institutions. They must collect and also share data beginning next month, because it all will be machine readable. Think AI, think computerized, think digital, and it will be all processed by a computer without human intervention. Again, this is similar, folks, to the human intervention that has caused currency devaluations. Because of the human intervention, it was large manipulation on currency. So when you had the absence of the human intervention, you have the presence of real values and data being shared with the new standards going into effect next month. And actually, that is it, Spirit. You did an amazing job. In fact, I think there's one last paragraph. You can go and finish, and I want you to read this like you have. I want you to read this last part like you have $20 million in your bank account after you exchange, and you got all the confidence in the world that you have a legacy that you're going to build with generational wealth for your family. Go and read it like you got that confidence now.
All right, now, the data standards will also make the data interoperable, which means it could be analyzed and collected across agencies.
Across agencies, across all agencies. So this is data that will be collected with no human intervention, automatic, instantly, seamlessly, instantly in the new banking system. This is why Goldilocks has been sharing for months, for years, about the quantum financial system, the transparency of the system, the payment systems that will be coming on board the beginning of next year, whereby there will be instant transfers, instant transactions. All of that is necessary, will be necessary because of these standards here. And then there's more standards valuation standards that go into effect the end of January, which the valuation standards are the values on assets and the standards necessary for them prior to the RV. You did an amazing job, young lady. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, you're welcome. You did an amazing job. Don't forget, on tomorrow, 3:00, you can come onto that call if you're available. And Monday, come into the room. We will help you whatever we need to do to help prepare you to make that call to your wealth manager on Tuesday. All right?
I surely will. And thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
Thank you, beloved. All right, stick around. Now, folks, this list, this is the list of agencies that Spirit just talked about, that Goldilocks is sharing. This is the list. Listen to the agencies. Think of the currencies. Think of the quantum financial system. Think of the new banking system that we're going to. The following, this is a list, folks, and it's going to be the link will be in the description. The following is a list of agencies, and this is in the Federal Register going into law next month. The following is a list of agencies and the codes. I'm going to repeat that again. These are the agencies and the codes needed for implementation that are involved in the FDTA inside the United States. The Financial Data Transparency Act. So you want to know what these agencies are? Folks, the codes as well. Now think of ISO for those of the members who are familiar, because Goldilocks has shown and Wiley has shared the ISO International Standard Organization, and there are currency codes, folks, that you must understand if you want to know if you're going to exchange. There's certain codes. Did you know that the IQD, which is the actual code, ISO code for dinar, the VND is the code, the 3-letter ISO International Standard Organization code for the Vietnamese dong? Every currency that you invested in, every currency that you have has a 3-letter code. It's like a unique identifier, like a social security number. Well, guess what? The banking system and the agencies that your currencies will go into to be exchanged, the agencies have a code. And here I'm not going to go over the codes. Here are the agencies whereby these standards go live next month. And these are the agencies that collectively will share data, and there is codes. There will be a link in the description. I'm not going to go over the codes, but the United States Department of Treasury, Office of the Comptroller of the Currency. And there's a certain code that is related to the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency, which our currencies are under, and under the Department of Treasury. Then it's the Federal Reserve. These agencies will communicate with each other starting next month with the data and their codes. The Federal Reserve and their code will now be linked into the QFS. The Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation and their codes linked into the QFS next month. National Credit Union Administration linked into the QFS next month to share data. All these agencies will share data amongst each other. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, the Federal Housing Agency, the Commodities Future Trade Commission. This is a global agency, the Commodities Future Trade Commission, where all currencies, it doesn't matter what currency you invested in, all of them, every last one of them, will be under the Commodity Futures Trade Commission, because every country will back their currency with commodities. And there is the code to link that agency into the QFS. Just like the Department of Treasury, all currencies will roll under them as well. The SEC, Securities and Exchange Commission, they will be exchanging data with the Commodities Future Trade Commission, with also the FDIC and Federal Reserve and U.S. Treasury. Folks, these codes are going to be interlinked into the QFS and go into law as standards next month. Just imagine if this is happening next month. How in the world could the RV have happened before now? Goldilocks continues. Once this goes into effect, meaning these standards, the ability to move forward with our international payment systems, which link all banks around the world, will become possible. As ISO 222 is interfaced into the quantum financial system, we'll be able to bring the international payment system and messaging system together as one. So these are laws, these codes will link these agencies that our currencies move through, all currencies, not just paper currencies, but digital currencies, move through the SEC, Department of Treasury, and so forth and so on. And I know many of you have been paying attention. Speaking of digital currencies, you've been paying attention to XRP and other cryptocurrencies in the last day or two, in which Goldilocks has been sharing for over a year to prepare for this and for what was going to happen with cryptocurrencies. Goldilocks has always said there are two RVs. The first is the digital RV, and the second is the paper RV. And the digital RV provides the liquidity for the paper RV. I'm going to repeat it again because it's the first time many of you hearing it. The first RV is the digital, which is the cryptocurrencies. Then it's the paper currencies. We are at the beginning stages of the digital currencies beginning to move. All right. Now, we are going to have the amazing, the wonderful, beautiful glass half full, which her glass is always full to the top. If you can unmute, my beautiful lady.
Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Loud
How you
and clear.
doing?
That's good. I'm good. I'm doing great.
Good. I want to thank you also for your amazing help and mentorship in the room. You are just so awesome, helping, educating members to bring them up to speed on establishing relationships with wealth managers. Thank you so much for what you do.
Well, you're certainly welcome, but it's all because of you. And
thank you, baby.
And we all are such gratitude for you and Wiley and everyone and Lady E. So
yes. Thank you so much. You ready to do this?
I am ready.
Awesome. Folks, this is an article that we are going to share. This is, don't dismiss, and I hope I do you all a service and explain this properly for you to understand the importance of this, these agreements that Iraq just signed with Turkey. I was going to share something. I'm going to share that in a little bit, but for those that don't know, the Iraqi dinar will be paid to a basket of currencies. I don't know if you remember Glass Half Full. I shared that article months ago. I'm not sure if you remember that Iraq will be paid to a basket of currencies, which would be the UAE dirham.
Right.
Okay. The Chinese yuan and the Turkish lira.
Right. Yep.
So, folks, the real basket of currencies, not the guru foo basket that they've been putting out there for so. Iraq, the dinar, in order to help give it more strength, it will be pegged to other currencies to help give it strength, along with stable coins and along with gold backing it. This is a surefire way for the dinar to not only obtain, but maintain its strength in the new quantum financial system. So let's jump on into this article, my beautiful lady, on what Iraq just did with Turkey. Go ahead.
Okay. His Excellency, the Governor of the Central Bank of Iraq, Mr. Ali Mohsen Al-Alak, and his accompanying delegation met with his counterpart, the governor of the Central Bank of Turkey, Mr. Fatih Karahan, in Istanbul.
Wow, you did that real good. Go ahead.
All right. The two parties discussed the launch of a new direct mechanisms for trade transfers between Iraq and Turkey, marking the beginning of a new phase of strengthening banking relations between the two neighboring countries.
Now, when she just read, the two parties discussed the launch of a new direct mechanisms for trade transfers. That word trade, folks, is very important for you to understand and remember. Trade. How does the dinar move up in value? How does the dong and other currencies move up in value? Through trade on the water. This is why Goldilocks has always said, watch the water. So when you see trade, you got to understand and know the strength and the value and the increasing of the dinar is connected to trade agreements. Okay, you can continue, beloved.
Okay. Yes, new direct mechanisms for trade transfers can refer to advancements in foreign currency exchange, particularly systems that allow for more efficient and direct conversion of currencies between trading partners, facilitating international transactions with less intermediaries involved.
Boom. Now, folks, I failed to mention, but this article, and the link will be in the description. It's right from the CBI. Okay. Now, you can continue, and I'm going to if you can continue the key points about foreign currency exchange.
Okay. Key points about foreign currency exchange in relation to trade transfers. Direct exchange.
In relation to trade transfers, folks. Remember that. Okay, go ahead.
Direct exchange. Instead of relying on multiple banks or intermediaries, businesses can now directly exchange currencies through online platforms or dedicated trading systems, streamlining the process.
So this means, folks, that in this agreement that Iraq just signed with Turkey, they'll be able to have direct banking relationships in order to have direct exchange transactions. This has not been done before. This is a new agreement, a new process, a new relationship. Think about it. If Iraq just signed an agreement to be able to do this with a country next door, for those who don't know the geography, Turkey is a neighbor to Iraq. If they can do this with Turkey, and this is all through digital mechanisms, this means they're working to be able to do this with any other country, any other part of the world. I hope you're picking up what we're putting down. Go ahead.
Faster settlements. New technologies like blockchain can enable near instantaneous settlements of international payments, reducing waiting times.
Faster settlements, folks. This is immediate on the blockchain. Remember, the quantum financial system is a blockchain. So faster settlements, meaning faster, instantaneous transactions, instant exchanges, instant transfers on the quantum financial system, the blockchain. Okay, go ahead.
Reduce costs. Direct exchange mechanisms can potentially lower transaction fees associated with the traditional banking channels. Improve transparency. Digital platforms often provide greater transparency regarding exchange rates and fees, allowing businesses to compare options easily. Examples of new mechanisms in foreign currency exchange.
You can just read the bold titles.
Okay. Cross-border payment networks, cryptocurrency exchanges, digital wallets. And then the last paragraph, would you like me to read?
Nah, don't worry about it. You did amazing. So, folks, we're talking about the new digital transformation and the abilities for Iraq to exchange. And also, you must know, all transactions between Turkey and Iraq, all trade of goods and services on their borders back and forth, it will be settled all in for all their imports, settled in dinars. So all products coming into Iraq will be in dinar. And you must understand and know the supply and demand is what raises the value of the dinar. Supply and demand is what raises the value of the dong and every other currency. So when you have these agreements, these are trade agreements. That is a new trade agreement signed between Iraq and Turkey. It's not to be dismissed. As a matter of fact, we're going to share with you right into the room this screenshot. For those of you who may not know anything about Turkey, you may not know the significance and how powerful this agreement that Iraq just signed with Turkey. Remember, the Turkish lira, which is Turkey's currency, the dinar will be paid to it in January of this year. Actually, take that back. Going to December of last year, the U.S. Department of Treasury, who we just talked about, will go live with their new codes and go live with new laws next month. Also the Federal Reserve. It was the Federal Reserve and the Department of Treasury that met with Iraq to sign off and with agreements December of last year to allow Turkey to be one of the currencies for Iraq to pay the dinar against. Everything is connected to everything. Now, speaking of trade, this is a trade agreement that Iraq and Turkey signed. If you can read what I just posted, glass half full.
Sure. It says, yes, Turkey is a member of the World Trade Organization, and it became a founding member of the WTO on March 26, 1995.
So here you have, folks. Turkey is a founding member of the World Trade Organization. The World Trade Organization, folks, was founded in January 1995. Turkey is one of the founding members in March of 1995. So here you have one of Iraq's neighbors, Turkey, who also just so happens that the dinar will be paid against the Turkish lira. Also, Iraq signed an agreement with Turkey, which is an original founding member of the World Trade Organization. Folks, Iraq had to agree to other trade agreements with Turkey and 160 plus existing World Trade Organization members in order to qualify, like they announced last month that Iraq qualifies. And then the fourth working party with the WTO will happen in the first quarter of next year. Do you think it's a coincidence that one of the founding members of the WTO, Turkey, is signing a new trade agreement that will be with dinars? Do you think this is a coincidence? They're doing this now with Iraq? I hope you're picking up what I'm putting down. Yep. As a matter of fact, I'm going to drop something else just to show how Goldilocks has been on this, tracking this, and this is the beauty of the relationship that Goldilocks has with the CBI. I'm going to read this so everyone can hear, and then in red glass half full, I'm just asking you to share it with people the date. I'm gonna read real quick the article. It says Iraq, and this is from Goldilocks. Iraq is making their final arrangements to work with Turkey through a signed agreement utilizing the euro and the Turkish lira and the Iraqi dinar only in their trade exchanges with one another. What's the date of this article by Goldilocks?
It's December 3rd, 2023.
It's December 3rd, 2023. And I'm getting choked up. This is over a year that Goldilocks has been on top of this. And the article that Glass Half Full just read from the CBI was November the 14th, 2024, the completion of the agreement. You see how Goldilocks, folks, has been on top of this almost a year in advance? This is the beauty and the blessing of having Goldilocks, where we can have years in advance, the receipts showing us what's going to happen before it happens, then when it happens, announce that it's completed. None of that, oh, my high level sources said, and then the roller coaster is up, and then the vomiting every so often, every weekend after. None of that. Receipts. I know you're picking up when I'm putting down glass half full.
Yeah, I sure am.
All right, beloved. I appreciate you so much.
Well,
thank you.
Thank you again.
You. Okay. Yes, indeed.
Okay.
Bye-bye. All right, folks,
Hello, beautiful people. This is Freedom Fighter. Thank you for tuning into our channel, Goldilocks Global Banking News. Everybody knows that Goldilocks is the #1 source for the RVGCR. People from around the world tune in to see what Goldilocks is sharing on the RVGCR. Don't miss your chance and get your latest updates every day. So like, share, and subscribe to this channel to get your daily podcast from the Goldilocks articles on the RVGCR. Brought to you by Freedom Fighter.